John Donne was born in 1572.
What'd you say her phone number was? 1371?
Hang on. John Donne was born in 1572 in Bread Street, London. John was born into a strong Roman Catholic family, and his dad was popular around the John was born into a strong Roman Catholic family, and his dad was popular around London in the Catholic community, while his mother was a stay-at-home wife. In 1583, John Donne entered into Hall University in Oxford and studied there for 3 years. In 1586, John moved to Cambridge, where he studied for a further 3 years. While he didn't receive a college degree because he chose not to take the oath of supremacy. John Donne didn't pursue his legal career, and in 1956 he wrote his first love poem written about love affairs. Around the 1600s, John then wrote his second poem, The Progress of the Soul. At the age of 30, John Donne fell in love with 15-year-old Anne Moore. John then wrote his third poem about violent death, and during this time he had lost his job and became unemployed. In 1610, John Donne published the pamphlet Pseudo-Martyr, which he argued his belief in his Roman Catholic religion. In 1613, John Donne wrote a poem for Frances and Howard, a newlywed couple who loved his poetic... Oh my god, hang on. In 1613, John Donne wrote a poem for Frances and Howard, a newlywed couple who loved the way that John Donne wrote and his poetic style. In 1615 of January, John Donne made up his mind to take holy orders and became a deacon of the Catholic Church. In 1617, John's wife, Anne Moore, died after giving birth to their 12th child, who was stillborn. While when John's wife died, she left behind 11 children for John to finish raising. In 1617, when John wrote the pamphlet in 1610, he took a mission to Europe to avert war between Protestants and the Catholics. In 1620, John Donne went back to London to preach and became the deacon of St. Paul's Church. In the winter of 1623, there was a serious illness going around which wasn't announced. He then became worried. In the winter of 1623, there was a serious illness going around which wasn't announced. Then John Donne became worried and kept saying that he was going to die. In the year 1631, John wrote his poem about death's duel. He wrote it because of the disease from which he knew that he was going to die from. From which most of the poems that John Donne wrote about, it was from his personal life experience from which it happened during his lifetime. When John kept hearing about the illness that was going around, he knew that it was the end of his time, which is why he wrote his poem, Death's Duel. John Donne died in 1631 from the illness that was going around, still unknown. John was known as one of the best American poem writers.